Good day and welcome to the 11th episode in this series of Starting a New Plot. If you haven't watched any of the others, then I do suggest you go back and have a look at episode 10, as it gives a roundup of where we are at the moment and why we're doing what we're doing. I've still got a lot of work to do. It's now the 2nd of February and I was just thinking yesterday, gosh, there's a lot to do. But you know what? I've still got time, but I really do need to crack on. Unfortunately, we're due an awful lot of rain over the coming days. So one thing that I thought I could do before that happens is just mark out the beds that we want for this year and hopefully forever's growing season. Let me show you what they are, and also two jobs that I've done since the 10th episode, which needed to be done because I needed the area to clear to work. Let me show you. First of all, the work that has been done. You may remember there was a big yellow jumbo bag here full of compost from the bags that we grew the tomatoes in last year. We grew them on this vinyl because we couldn't sort out that bed before we needed to get growing. I've emptied all of that yellow jumbo bag into this bed in the corner just here, which is our parsnips and carrots bed. Yes, it's spent compost, but that's going to be absolutely fine for parsnips and carrots. So that opened up that area for me to be able to work in. The other thing I've done is just down here in the bottom right hand corner, there was a cherry tree there, a dwarfing cherry tree. I didn't know it was dwarfing until I took it out, but it was in the way. It was in the way of this bench, which you can just see at the edge here, which nubs up to our shed. And it was in the way of this growing area as well. So that has now come out and it's gone into our conservation area on this site. So that's absolutely great. What I am going to do now is start marking out these beds. In fact, let me just drop the camera down a little bit. Right, so we have the parsnips and carrots bed here. We have what's the end of the garlic bed here, the brassica bed here, and then there's another bed beyond here which has this strawberry planter there at the moment. Because I want to make sure there's enough space at the front here between this planter and our shed, I'm only going to bring this bed out by, what's that, about 5 inches? That's fine. That's going to be a herb bed, and this is mint and it will be sunk in the ground. These two beds here are going to come right out to the ends of those troughs that I have put in there. And then we're going to mark up this bed, and I think we're going to nick a bit just here at the front to make it a bit larger, but pull it in slightly up this end so that we have easy access in front of these compost bins. So as you can see here, I've got some blue rope. I also got green rope. The blue rope is cut up into bits. The green rope is a whole bit of rope. So I'm actually going to start with the green rope at that end, up here. Start with the green rope up here, come down here, along here, and up here, and then if I need to cross over, I can leave it intact and just cross over to this bed. It'll be a bit of a mismatch of ropes and shapes, but at least it will give me the site of the area that this may be. First of all, I'm going to put these two planters, they're from a garden centre, these. I'm going to put them into the middle so they're out of my way. I've got my rope, which has got a knot in it, and then I'm going to put one of these U pegs into that, and then just go around the whole thing here and mark out what I think is going to be the size. Right, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to move these two at the end in a little bit because they're right up against the compost bins. They'll come in about a foot. Wondering if this is a bit too wide. But as you can see, I've cadged a bit of space here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave that like it is at the moment. And then I'm going to move on to these here. So I've marked out these extensions. The third and second are longer than the first. Let me just dip you down and show you why that is. A rather odd angle, but this is our shed corner. This is our bench, obviously. Flagstone here. If we bring this out anymore, it's going to really reduce the access along this area here, which is not going to be a good thing. So if we had extended this one out, it would be about, let me do it the other way, it would be about here. That lines up sort of with this one up here, and that would be too tight. Let me just tip you back up. So this is looking down the line. As you can see, it's quite a bit further in than the other two beds. But you know what, that's fine. That works for me, and I can live with that. I can be a bit OCD when it comes to angles and things, but I can work with this because I fully understand the point of giving access here. Right. I'm wondering if this path is a bit too wide. Some will say it's a bit too narrow. Yeah, it's not too narrow. It's not too narrow for me. And also, the other thing to remember is this is going to be sunk into the ground. So these are going to be ground level beds. I'm most probably going to do some type of edging, but it'll be like bricks or something like that. It will be very low edging. It may just protrude half an inch above the ground. So it won't be any disruption for getting a wheelbarrow around. That's my main thing, getting a wheelbarrow up here and around a heightened bed here, an edge bed as these are, would be a bit of an access problem. But having ground beds, i.e. ones that are in the ground, maybe, as I say, just with a brick edging, is going to be absolutely fine for me. Right, I will be measuring this width and I'll be measuring this length. But actually, I'm now going to live with this for a week or so. There are other jobs I can get on with. One of the other jobs I need to get on with, well, need and want. The other job that I want to get on with, and it would be good to get on with it because of the time of year, is the fruit bed, which is behind me to our left. Because the fruits are beginning to bud and it would be great to get those in the ground. So I'm certainly going to be living with this for a week or so, and I'll be walking around, making sure that I walk around and not across any of these, because I want to feel how it is to my body, how the flow works to my body. There's no point putting something in if you're going to find it obstructive. So I'm going to live with this bed. I'm going to forget about this bit of vinyl here in my mind. I can see it, obviously, but this is going to be, the green line is going to be the edge of this bed. The blue and the green there over on that side are going to be the edges of these beds. And I'm going to live with that for a week and see how I feel. If I feel that this path needs a little bit more width, which actually I don't think it will, I'm going to go and get a wheelbarrow in a minute and have a go. I think that'll be absolutely fine. As I say, it's not going to be this height, these beds, they're going to be ground level beds. Yeah, but if I feel the path could be a bit narrower, I'll make it a bit narrower. If it needs to be a bit higher, a bit wider, I'll make it a bit wider. Living with things before you actually get your spade out and do the actual hard work is really important. I know we all want to jump into things, but yeah, live with things and see how they work for you. I do actually have some slates, some roofing slates, so I'm wondering whether I could... No, I'm not going to do that because I know that roofing slates, if they're bedded into the ground like that, obviously the top of them can be quite sharp, and I don't want to put my hand down onto the side of a sharp slate at any point, so I won't be putting slates in. I also need to think here, as we go along here, this is level, then here it rises up a bit where the sun is hitting at the moment, sort of. It rises up and then it dips down and then it rises up again. So it might be a fact that I take off I take off this top turf and some of the ground underneath and then put the turf back on. I might do that. I might not. Right, we'll leave that today because I'm going to mull this for a week or so, and hopefully I'll see you very soon for episode 12 where we get on with the fruit bed. Any questions that you have, please do put them in the comments below. Any suggestions or comments, obviously do the same, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.